Hello everyone, good morning. This is Vinay Kumar and welcome to my channel Java Main Concepts. This channel we will go through the core concepts of Java, and by using that concepts we will make a robust and extensible Java applications. But before we start, right, we have a lot of YouTubers who are teaching Java languages and how to create the applications or how to write the programs by using the Java core concepts. But why you should stop at my platform? The reason being is that whatever I am going to teach you, that will not be driven by the books and traditional approach. You don't have to memorize anything. It's quite clear. Don't need to memorize. You don't need to by heart each and every lines of the book. You can create the concepts, or we will create the concepts by learning from the real objects and the real experiences, and then if we can use our own words when we are appearing in the exams or when we are facing the interview to answer the questions. In this channel we will basically make use of the analogy and a metaphor to make you understand the core concepts like abstractions, encapsulations, polymorphism, inheritance, many more, exception handling, tradings, you name it, and we will have it. We will have it, but not by the book's language. We will have it, we will learn it by our experiences, which we see in the environment around us. Right? Be have patience and be with me. I will not make you only understand the core concept, but I can also take you to the space from which you could come up with your own thoughts, with your own concepts, and visualize the things in a better way, and then you can write a more performant or more better code, right? So the first statement which we say about Java is that Java is an object oriented programming, right? And objects is quite a common word which we use right from our childhood, right? We have an object around everyone. Everything around us is an object, right? And we use those objects to perform a task, right? As for a pen, we use a pen to write, right? We use a computer to write the programs. We use a car to drive. We use a house to live in. So everything is an object, right? But the difference between the other objects and the computer is that computer is not only an object, but it is a device through which you can create the object within it, right? You got the point? What I mean is that within computer, computer has a hardware and a software combinations, and by writing the programs, you can create the real world which we visualize around us. Those real objects can be mapped as a virtual objects within the computer, and then we can make all those objects to talk to each other, okay, communicate with each other, and have our tasks done. Looks complicated, right? Sounds complicated, but this is how it works. And we will see this as we proceed and on. So we will see two worlds. One is the real world in which we all live, in which we all have the real objects, right? A pen, for example, which is used for writing. And then we will also visualize the object which is created within the computer, which is a virtual world, right? And the basic difference between these two is that in the real world, okay, the object has to follow the physical laws, and the object has their own way to behave, right? So if we use a pen, the pen can be used only for writing. You cannot uh, come up with a pen, okay, that can sing. Hmm? But if we want this pen to be created in the virtual world, then we can make that pen to write, sing, dance, calculate, paint, anything. based on our requirement, okay, we can design the behavior of this pen in the virtual world, right? So in short, we can say that computer is a fantastic machine because this computer can be used to create the virtual world. So every time you run an applications, I mean a Java applications or object oriented programming language applications, the computer creates a virtual world for you. You are not just a user, right? Because if we talk about this physical pen, we are only using it. But when we write the Java applications within the computer, it will create a virtual world, and that virtual world has been created by us. So we are the creator of that virtual world, as well as we are the controller. Means we can decide when the world will, means when the world starts up, how its life will start, when to destroy the world, okay, when to means whatever we wish. So that everything means you can say that when we write the program in computer, we are working as a same as the God, means the Almighty who has created the nature. He has a full control on it, right? Similarly, when we create the Java applications, the objects which we create, everything is controlled by us. So we decide how the object will behave. We decide what the object has the capability to do, and we decide what object will interact with each other, right? As for example, uh, let's take the example of a real world. Mm. So we take a pen, we use a pen, and we use this pen to write. And this pen is used to write on a piece of paper. It could be a piece of paper, okay, or it can be a whiteboard or blackboard. But when we create the similar pen in the virtual world, we can write it anywhere. We can write it on the stone, we can write it on the water, anything. Means you imagine it, and we can have it over there. And the basic difference between this, the objects which we see around us and the object which exists in the virtual world, is that virtual world objects obeys our instructions, but the real world objects obey the laws of physics, right? So since we have talked about objects, and since we have also visualized how the objects may behave in the virtual world and how the objects behave in the real world, okay, we will use all these things to understand the core concept of the Java. And and as we progress, okay, we will see how we can get into that to be a virtual world, right? Because if we have created anything which is virtual, so we have to have a main gate through which we can get into it, right? So similarly, the Java applications also has a main gate through which we can get into it. And then once we get into the virtual world, okay, we can find a lot of ready-made objects, means ready-made tools which we can use to start writing our code and program. And then based on our requirement, we will also create some objects from our sites. Look interesting, right? So let's just illustrate this. So suppose that we want to create something named it as a car, right? Very simple. So, oh, this is not working as expected, but have patience. So it does not look like a car. But it's fine. Okay. So suppose we want to create a car, and to create the car in the virtual world, we need to decide that how many no, the wheels it will have. Okay, whether it will have an ordinary roof, or whether this car can only drive on, it can be driven only on the road, or even it can fly, so it will have a wings or light, something like this. So all these are imaginary, but we will it is achievable when we use the programming language, right? So let's move ahead. So since I have been talking about, I have been stressing more about correlating the things which we have in the real world to the things which we will have in the Java world, right? The virtual world. What are the things or what are the entities which exist in the Java world? The first thing, see, when we talk about our real world, okay, we have a environment or we have a system. System means a lot of objects are working there, okay, to achieve some goal or to perform a particular task. Like for example, we have a school, okay, where we have a students, we have a teachers, and the goal is to educate the students, okay, to make their life more easy, to make them understand the complexities of life and how to overcome them. So these environments, okay, this big entity, okay, wherein we have a lot of objects, interacting with each other to achieve a particular goal, that is called a, in Java world, that is called a application. So the very primary thing in the Java world is the application. It can be web application, it can be mobile application, it has to be application. So if even if we are writing our first code in Java just to say hello, so we say that that is a hello world application. Is that application will wish us hello, right? And we will see, means as we proceed, we will see how we can create the applications, and then within the applications, means if a school represents an applications, or if a college represents an applications, right? Then within that applications we have a multiple entities. So in a colleges we have a professors, we have a classrooms, we have a teachers, right? We have a school buses, college buses, everything. So all those are objects. So on a bigger picture, we have the application, and within that application, based on our requirements, we will create the objects, right? So if college is an entity, it is an application. So within that college, we will have a professor, we will have a teachers, we will have a classrooms, right? We will have a college buses, everything would be there, right? So first we have a Java applications, then following on we have a Java concepts. Now, once we have all those objects being placed, so we have the classrooms, okay, we have the whiteboard over there, we have the benches, we have the doors, we have the windows, everything. But we need a person, we need an object that need to make use of all those objects, right? So we need a teacher. So what is the teacher? Teacher is an agent. He is the one who will interact with the environment and perform a specific task. So we cannot think of an application without a agent, because if we have created a lot of objects, okay, either we have created or it is by default present in that applications, or in that environment, but we need someone who can consume it, who can use it. So that consuming object, or that working object is known as threads in the Java world. So as we will learn more, we will see how we can uh, use the threads, or how Java environment uses threads to make our applications run and perform the task that we need. Then after the import, the other the popular thing is that Java methods. So when we talk about Java, we will talk about objects and we will talk about the methods. So as we have been talking about the colleges, then we have talked about the teacher. Then comes the teacher behavior, means how the teacher will behave, means what teacher will do, right? So that is the teacher methods. So teacher can teach a student, right? A teacher can make the student to also learn the programming languages, right? To teaching. So it can be a verbal teaching, it can be a teaching through the uh, experiments, or it can be a teaching in a lab. So that defines the methods. Means the object will have a methods, and that method defines why we should call that or why we should use that object. Right? So these actions map directly to the methods in Java. So if we have a pen and if by using this pen we can write, so this pen will have a method which is called a write. Right? I think I'm clear. Okay. Now moving ahead. See, right from the beginning, I have been visualizing around the virtual objects or the virtual world, right? So when we will create this virtual object, okay, let's check some other approach. So we have this beautiful planet Earth, right? And this, when this planet was created, okay, it has got a lot of objects with it, right? We have a mountains, river, trees. Hmm. All these objects were not created by human beings. So those objects were being put in this environment by the God, by the Almighty, so that if a creature is born on this earth, he can survive, right? He can survive and lead his life. He can live his life, right? So those ready-made things, what I mean is that the mountains, the river, the trees, hmm, these ready-made things were made by the God and they were put in this earth so that any newborn entities can use this already existing objects, okay, to live their life. We have the similar concepts in Java. So when you will create the Java applications, okay, that virtual world also needs something, okay, because see, as we are a beginner, okay, we cannot directly go and create, all the objects of our requirement because we are new. We are new to programming language. We don't know anything. We don't know how the Java behaves. We don't know about its packages. We don't know how to get the objects, how the objects will communicate. So to ease our life, what the creator of Java has done that they have created few ready-made packages. Okay, and those ready-made packages have a inbuilt objects in it, like mountain we have here. We have a hills over there. So in the similarly, the Java default package, which is called the lang package, okay, looks quite complicated as of now, but let's take it that Java by default has a import. It has a lang package in it, and this lang package has all those predefined objects which might be required by any Java programmer to write a basic Java application. And then as the programmer learn new things, okay, based on the requirements, okay, he will say no, I don't want only this object, but I want this also object also. As for example, as I have told you, when the earth was created, we have a mountain, we have a trees. So human beings early used to live in a cave or they used to live on a trees. But then as the human beings evolve more, they get more intelligent. They think that no, we won't be living in a cave, we won't be living on our trees. What we will do, we will make the soil, okay, then we will mix it with the sand, do some experiments, and then we will have a buildings, okay, and then to support that building we will use the iron rods, right? So it's all depends upon our needs and the requirement. Similarly, as we will go through this course, based on the requirement, we will create the objects which will fulfill the requirement of the application, right? So suppose initially we have created a school application and that application simply says hello. Does not make a sense, right? Because the school need to have the teacher, need to have the students, need to have the school buses. So we will use the constructs of the Java to create all those objects, right? Then the other popular concepts is around exceptions. So this exception is it. This also mirrors our real life unexpected situations. So suppose that I Vinay Kumar, okay, I like lassi. So uh, if I will go to cafe, I will order lassi and then I will have it. No risk. Okay, I'm used to it. I love it. Fine. But suppose on some other day, okay, some friends also went along with me to the cafeteria and he asked me to try with the mango shake. So the friend will say, when I, okay, it's fine that you love lassi, but try with this. So when we use the word try, means unexpected situations might occur, right? Try means I might like that lassi or I might not like that lassi, right? So if I will like it, I will drink it. But if I don't like it, I may vomit, right? So how will we, you know, handling those situations in the programming language itself? Because the real objects can have those unexpected situations, and we have the measures to handle them. Similarly, a Java applications try to mimic the real world objects within the virtual world. So we will also use the Java exceptions to see how we can handle those unexpected situations. I think this is our first sessions, and going through a lot of concepts will make you bored, right? So I have tried to discuss at a very high level what is a Java application, right? What is a Java methods? What are the Java objects? What are the Java threads? More to it, the important thing is that how we will mimic the virtual world. We will make the virtual world mimic the real world. So this mapping has to be done by us. So thankfully, we are all thankful that we have been chosen our career in a software engineering, because for software engineers the things are bit easy because we have a prototype. So we have the prototype, the real world, and we need to mimic this in our virtual world. And if we talk about the other professions, though they have to create their own prototype and then they have to work on that prototype. But luckily, we are good. We already had a prototype. We only need to mimic, right? So I think we should conclude this session by this. And in the coming sessions, we will get familiar with the core Java syntax. We will write our first Java applications, and then we will also see if we have if we face some errors, if we you know faces some errors, and then we will also try how to fix it. So thank you for us. Thank you for being with me. Have a good day. I hope you've enjoyed the sessions. Happy learning. Bye bye.